Today's social media segment is brought to you by Parabon General Health Systems, modern technology, and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bourke, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality. All right, welcome back to Bayou Time. Very pleased to have with us the fire chief here in the area, Chief Corey Henry. Chief, good to see you.
Thanks for having me.
Now, well, we've been dealing with a lot of fires, but yet another fire on Vivian Street near the intersection at Sadie Street. Can you give us a little information about that?
Yes, so approximately at 5:20 this morning, the Houma Fire Department was dispatched for a house on fire at 119 Vivian Street. The crews arrived shortly after to find one house with a large amount of fire coming out of it, along with the house next door starting to catch fire. So the fire companies confirmed that everyone was out of the residences, and then they attacked the exposure fire first, was able to extinguish that one, and then went to the original structure fire. And it took a little over an hour to get it under control.
Let me ask you this, any understanding of how this one originated?
Right now, the investigation leads to it started in the living room, but we don't know a cause just yet. One thing that the investigators did find was that there were no working smoke alarms in this residence at the time. Fortunately, someone had returned home and noticed the fire and was able to alert all the other occupants.
You know, it brings to mind that just this weekend, I was in one of my family members' house, and the fire alarm, the smoke detector was chirping away, saying that it needed a new battery. And it's so aggravating, but it's aggravating so that you will change the battery and they work, right?
Yes, yes. So we need to remember to test our smoke alarms. It's very important. Once a month, at least test them. And if you have one that the batteries need to be changed, you need to change them every time you change your clocks.
I got you.
So other than that, but most smoke alarms now are coming with built-in batteries that have a 10-year lifespan.
Okay.
But we still need to check them once a month. It's very important to have one in each sleeping area and one on every level if you have a multi-level home.
How about fire extinguishers now? I remember way back in the first days of HTV, they'd have to come in and inspect them pretty regularly. Remember at one time, I don't know if I remember this or this was before my time, but didn't they used to have water in some of the canisters?
Yeah, so we still have some water extinguishers, but the modern extinguishers that you would find in a home right now would be a powder or a chemical, ABC. So it's also good to have one of those in your home.
Right.
Just remember when you install it near an exit, not directly underneath your stove or underneath a sink, somewhere where you'd have an exit.
Yeah.
To get in case the fire couldn't be contained with that extinguisher.
Mm-hmm. What's the majority of fires y'all see, Chief? Do they start on the stove? Is it from cigarettes burning? Do y'all have stats on that?
We do have stats. I haven't looked at them lately, but the majority are going to come from cooking fires. Really?
So people just sort of either leave the kitchen area and go watch a movie while the food's cooking,
Yes.
and something ignites?
Yep, and they walk back and their kitchen's on fire.
Mostly grease fires, you would say?
Yes, grease fires is a big culprit.
And what's the protocol on grease fires? What do they do?
If you have an extinguisher, you can first of all secure the source, so you want to turn your stove off and try and extinguish it with your extinguisher. But if you don't have that, just get out. A lot of people get in trouble when they think they're going to pour water on it, and it makes the fire bigger, and they end up with burns. Even worse than that is if you take the pot out and you run with it out your door, all that grease and fire is going to fly, and it's going to end up on you.
Oh, man,
so
that hurts just thinking about it.
It's best just to leave it where it's at and call the fire department.
Yeah, and eventually it'll simmer down, but the idea is to smother it, right?
Yeah, if you have your pot lid close, you can also cover it.
Yeah, that's a little tricky to try to get that lid on while the fire is going on.
Yeah, you want to do it quick.
Yeah, and fire is just one of those things. I can remember when I was frying some fish out in the back one time. Thank God I had the fryer outside of the canopy, because one of those situations where I got stuck on the phone, and then I just happened to look out the door. I had a 10-foot flame coming from the grease and the oil, and it was like, that's a humbling experience when you got to look at that. And you, of course, the first thing I did was take off the source. Yeah. But then it takes it a little while to simmer down. Yeah,
it has to burn itself off, and then it has to cool. So you still have a fire once you turn your source off for a little while.
Yeah. How busy are y'all staying with the Houma Fire Department?
We're busy. We're out actively, pre-planning all our local businesses. So you'll see our fire trucks and firemen walking in and out of businesses, making sure that, they have all their safety stuff. We've also seen an increase in calls, so just like everyone else.
Right. But y'all have done a great job of going around checking the businesses, checking the hydrants, and checking certain things. And that's something that could probably become quite burdensome to a fire department, but y'all do a good job of staying on it.
Yep, we have a great group of guys, so they tend to get their work done pretty quick. We also, if you're in need of a smoke alarm, just call our main office, 873-6391. Give us the address, and we'll go out and install smoke alarms for you.
Really?
Yes. And if you're not in the city limits, just give us a call anyway, and we can direct you to your local fire department, who also will put them out.
Boy, that's a good service.
Yep, it's free service.
Yeah. How'd you get involved in fire?
Well, I started at 14 years old as a junior fireman in Little Bayou Fire Department.
Wow.
And then at 19, I was hired on with the city.
It's just something that, excuse the pun, ignited in you?
I guess you can say that.
Yeah, and it just became a way of life, and now you're chief. So
yes, sir.
You've climbed the ladder pretty quickly.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and it's I hate to say you enjoy putting out fires, but you got to be special to be, I always say, to be a fireman or a policeman. You got to have that, innate ability to go into danger. So it's something you handle pretty regularly. Isn't it?
Yeah, I do appreciate helping out the community.
All right. Chief, good to see you. And we'll talk more about Vivian Street if you get any more information, but thank you for coming.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Once again, Fire Chief, and we're talking about that 100 block of Vivian Street fire that took place. And we will take a short break. We have a lot more in Bayou Time. Don't go away. Today's social media segment is brought to you by Parabon General Health Systems, modern technology, and timeless caring. Rouse's, you're either local or you're not. Buick, the craft of modern luxury. St. Martin and Bork, know your rights. South Louisiana Bank, it's better when we bank together. Waits and Downer, attorneys at law. Terrebonne Ford, built Ford tough. Alford and Associates, for all of your insurance needs. CIS, Cardiovascular Institute of the South, the highest quality cardiovascular care available. Barker Honda, the Barker family tradition of quality.